Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Bronwyn and today's video is going to be all about resort hopping. As always, I apologize if you can see the light in my glasses. It's just how it is. One of the things that I always recommend to people, whether they have a free day away from the parks, it's the check-in week of their Disney college program, or they just live in Florida and need something to do, is checking out some of the Disney World resorts. So today I'm going to go through my favorite ways to resort hop, which resorts I think you should check out, fun things to do while you're there. These are by no means the only way to go about resort hopping or the only things you can do at these resorts. These are just normally the things that I like to do when I resort hop. I feel like the most common way to resort hop is along the monorail loop. So that's the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, and the Contemporary. The best way to go about resort hopping in general is to have a dining reservation at one of the places you want to visit. Most of the time, unless you have a dining reservation or you're staying at the resort, they won't let you park there. So if you have a dining reservation, you can park there and then kind of travel around as much as you want. So let's say that our resort hopping day is starting at the Polynesian. In my opinion, the #1 thing to do at the Poly is to get a Dole Whip. I know these days you can kind of get Dole Whip a lot more places. You can get it in the parks and that kind of stuff. However, the Polynesian Dole Whip just hits different. For some reason, it always just seems like a little bit more firm, I guess, than the Dole Whip that's in the parks. Like, it's not as melty. It also, because you're at the resort, gives you the luxury to pop inside if you'd rather eat it inside instead of standing in the sun next to the magic carpets. Personally, I always recommend the Dole Whip Vanilla Pineapple Swirl. I think it's the best one, but they have all of them. They also sometimes have specialty ones and specialty flavors that come around for different holidays, different seasons, so it's definitely something that you can check out more than once. I feel like a lot of the time when I resort hop, I end up having a drink or two just because so many of the resorts have super cool bars and lounges. So one that's really awesome at the Polynesian is Trader Sam's. It's kind of hidden away in the corner, so if you need help finding it, don't be afraid to ask a cast member. I promise that it's actually there. But they have super cool Hawaiian and Polynesian themed drinks. The entire room and lounge is super themed. It's just a really cool place to check out. I also know that a lot of people when they're resort hopping want to take photos, obviously. So one of my most favorite places to take photos is on the beach of the Polynesian. It's super pretty because you get the water, you can sometimes get the bungalows, you have the castle right behind you, that it's definitely a super, super cool backdrop for lots of photos. Now next on the monorail loop is the Grand Floridian. I think anybody that knows me at this point knows that I am obsessed with the Grand Floridian Cafe. It's one of those places that anytime that you try and book, they always have reservations. I've gone for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 10 out of 10 would recommend for any of them. However, breakfast is my most favorite. It's relatively cheap and cast members get a 40% discount there, so I go quite a bit. If you're looking for drinks, the new Enchanted Rose Lounge is one that I would definitely recommend. It's Beauty and the Beast themed and is just very, very, very well done. I don't remember the name of the drink that I've gotten there, but I'll make a note of it somewhere so that if you want to get that, you can get it too. I like sweet drinks, so if you like sweet drinks, these might be some good recommendations. I don't know. The Enchanted Rose Lounge is a little bit pricier than some of the other lounges on property. The drinks are a little bit more expensive. However, I think for the atmosphere, for the service, when I went, you had the option to sit inside or outside, which is nice too. It's definitely worth the money. They also have a Basin store located in the Grand Floridian, which if you've never been to Basin, you've just never washed your hands correctly. They have bath bombs, salt scrubs, they have different hair and conditioners, they have tons and tons of different fancy soaps, and I like to go just to wash my hands. They have a whole hand washing station where you can test out some of the salt scrubs and stuff. I don't even think they're salt scrubs. I think most of them are sugar scrubs, but it'll change your life. They make your hands so soft. They're just the best. The Grand Floridian itself is gorgeous as a backdrop for photos, but one of the places that maybe you might be able to snap a few is over at the Wedding Pavilion. Now, most of the time the gate to the Wedding Pavilion is closed. However, there have been on numerous occasions times where the gate is open. There's not a wedding going on. I don't know if there's a tour going on or what. You can't get inside the actual wedding venue, but you can kind of just walk around the outside of it, and they have a super pretty place that has Cinderella Castle perfectly aligned. It's where the outside wedding location is, I guess. But if the gates are open and nobody stops you, it's definitely a cool place to snap a couple photos. Last but not least on the monorail loop is the Contemporary. Now, I feel like of these three resorts, the Contemporary is probably the one that offers the least. There are two bars though that I really love the Contemporary. One is the Wave, which is always empty. Every single time that I've been, it's been empty, and they have a super fun drink that's one of those big fishbowl ones. That's where I got, if you watched my memory box video from this program, the little light up glow cube I got from the Wave. California Grill up on the top of the Contemporary also has a bar, and you don't need a reservation to go there. If you just want to go up for drinks, you can do that. I know a couple times when I've been in the middle of the day, they've told us that if you bring your receipt back later that night, that they'll let you up to watch the fireworks. So if you want to see Happily Ever After from a super, super cool view, do it from California Grill. Contemporary is also a really cool place for pictures. Inside there's a huge neon Mickey wall that has like 4 different Mickeys. It's kind of like pop arty. Outside there's like a silver Mickey. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm gonna put a picture up or it's not gonna make any sense, but super cool for pictures. It's done by the pool. Now between these 3 resorts, one of my favorite things to do is take the little boats out on Seven Seas Lagoon. So from any of those 3 as well as Fort Wilderness, you can rent like little, I don't know what they are, just like little, not paddle boats because they're like speed boats, but you can rent little boats and drive them around the lagoon for like however much time you want to. Normally it's between like 30 minutes or 60 minutes. It's a cool way to see all the resorts from the outside. You can see Magic Kingdom, and it's a relatively cheap, fun thing to do. Cast members get 50% off too, so if you just need a little activity, that's a fun one to check out. The next kind of area that I like to check out when I'm resort hopping is the Boardwalk area. So that includes the Boardwalk Resort, Yacht Club, and the Beach Club. Now the Boardwalk obviously has tons and tons and tons to do. There's tons of restaurants, there's the Atlantic Dance Hall, which I love, there's jelly rolls, which, unpopular opinion, I don't love jelly rolls. I think it's way too crowded and I just never really have a good time. So if you want like the same kind of atmosphere, go over to Atlantic Dance Hall, and it's a 10 out of 10 time because there's never anybody there. I've always had a great time over at Abracadabra Bar. It's like a magic themed bar, which is super cool. And just the overall atmosphere of the boardwalk is awesome. It's super pretty for pictures too, especially at night because they have like string lights that line the boardwalk. So definitely, especially with all of the like happenings there, make that a nighttime stop. Now the Yacht Club is one that I've spent very little time at, just like hanging out. Really the only things I've ever done there is eaten. I went to Ale & Compass, it's like opening week, and I got some like chicken and waffles thing, which they don't have anymore. But I went a couple months ago with my friends and got some pasta dish that I was obsessed with. So definitely maybe if you're looking for like a little bit more of a high-end meal, check out Ale & Compass. Also, if you want to be super bougie, they do have the Yachtsman Steakhouse. So if you want a fancy steak, there you go. Heading over to the Beach Club, you can't go there and not check out Beaches and Cream. They just completely redid the whole restaurant, so if you can snag a reservation, that's one of my favorite places to eat. But they also have a like walk-up window where you can get different milkshakes, you can get ice cream. They do like a miniature version of their kitchen sink. You can then take that ice cream, go sit on the beach or something, and just hang out and relax. The Beach Club also has a lot of like nice seating areas and that kind of stuff, which are really good to chill, especially if you started at the boardwalk, did all that, and just kind of need a break to like recompose yourself. The Beach Club is a really good place for that. Another fun thing that most of the resorts do, but I've specifically done it at the Beach Club and at the boardwalk, is big movies at night. So they'll bring out like a huge inflatable movie screen. I know they do it on the beach at the Beach Club, and then the huge grassy area that's like behind the boardwalk, they'll do them there. So I definitely think that those resorts are more like nighttime ones than they are daytime ones to check out. Next on the list is Animal Kingdom Lodge. Animal Kingdom Lodge in itself is kind of a hassle to get to, and there's not really anything else over there other than that resort. However, there's tons and tons to do there. They have a buffet style restaurant called Boma that is super good. They have a lot of African foods. They also have like some American stuff split in there too. There's also Sanaa, which is a table service version kind of Boma. Sanaa though is famous for their bread service. So they have a bunch of different kinds of naan bread. And then I think there's like 9, maybe 12 different sauces that you can like go along with it. So if you need a snack, definitely get the bread service from Sanaa. As you may or may not have been able to guess from the name, Animal Kingdom Lodge has tons and tons of real animals. For the most part, it's kind of the same animals that you'll find on the safari over at Animal Kingdom. So they have zebras, they have giraffes, they have a bunch of like gazelle and like bull cow looking things. I don't know what they're called. Just like at Animal Kingdom, they have cast members stationed all around that are more than knowledgeable on all of the animals and can help with any questions you might have or just teach you new things that you might not know about the animals. Boma is cool if you go in the morning or for lunch because that one overlooks the savannah, so you can see all of the animals while you eat. So if you go there during the day, try and get a table by the window. For the most part, that's really all there is to Animal Kingdom Lodge. Obviously there's like the gift shops and all that kind of stuff you can check out, but for the most part it's really the animals and the food that you want to go for. So last but not least are the Skyliner resorts. Pop Century, Caribbean Beach, Riviera, and Art of Animation are all connected by the Skyliner. Disney Food Blog has a whole pub crawl and food crawl that go between those 4 resorts. So I'm going to link that down below. That is something that I have not done yet, but really want to do. So once the world opens back up, if that's something that you want to see me do, let me know down below because I want to and probably will do it even if nobody wants to see a vlog of it. Of those 4, the Riviera is probably my favorite resort. That's where they have the huge Peter Pan and Rapunzel murals, which are super pretty. Because it's a vacation club resort, I feel like there's kind of a lot there that's more just like on the grounds of the resort, not necessarily in it. So like outside they have a huge like greenery area. They had like huge chess pieces and that kind of stuff. It looks like Harry Potter. I went to the quick service. I did not eat there though, but the food looks super good and it's definitely one that I want to check out. So maybe make sure that that's the place you stop on the lunchtime lunchtime hour. Caribbean Beach Resort that I really have not been to and don't know a ton about of like offerings that they have, so I'm gonna kind of glaze over that one. Pop Century is definitely a cool one for pictures though. Each of the different buildings are themed to a different century, so they have tons of fun art and murals throughout the whole entire resort. One thing that I love about the Art of Animation Resort though is they do animation classes. Now I hope this is still true. They used to do them. I don't know if they still do. Don't quote me on it. But like they used to have at studios, they have it now over at Rafiki's Planet Watch in Animal Kingdom. I think it's like once or twice a day they do animation classes there where you can learn to draw Disney characters, which is just, I promise it's fun. And even if you don't know how to draw, they just do a really good job teaching you, and everybody's comes out like moderately good. Art of Animation also has like different themed areas. There's a Lion King part, Little Mermaid, Cars, and I think of Finding Nemo. So if you really like one of those movies or characters or whatever, it's a cool place to check out, and it's basically its own little land of that area. The Skyliner itself is also just a super fun way to travel. So even if you don't make it to all of the resorts, it's fun just to be able to take the Skyliner back and forth. Now I said that was last but not least, but I do want to give a special shout out to the All-Star Resorts. I know that this is probably nobody's first stop on resort hopping. However, the All-Stars, I think, are always one of the first people to get super cool like desserts and pastries. When new movies are coming out, or it's a new holiday coming around, they, I feel like, are the first ones to get the fun themed desserts and that kind of stuff. So if you need something to do, maybe pop over to All Star just for a quick sec to check out the desserts. So that's kind of my guide on how to resort hop, maybe some places that you should check out. Once things start to open back up a little, I do want to maybe do a couple vlogs of going to these resorts and showing them off a little bit, because I do have a ton to offer. When you're resort hopping, really just make sure you just walk around and see what you can find. Every resort is so special, so well themed, so well decorated that it's super duper awesome. That even if you don't do anything other than walk around, you're still gonna have a great time. If you have any more specific questions about any of the resorts or need some recommendations, I've stayed at a lot of Disney resorts and feel like I know a lot about them at this point. Always feel free to comment down below, shoot me a message on Instagram, and I will do my best to get back to you with any advice I may have. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see y'all again real soon. Bye!